everyone. My name is Natalie Kaminski. I am a founder and CEO of a company called JetRockets. At JetRockets, we build custom software, web, and mobile applications, and we help specifically non-tech founders launch their tech platforms and their dreams. And today we are continuing with our session of recording interviews with some of our founders. And today we're speaking with Stephanie Kaiser, the founder and CEO of Saymore. Thank you, Stephanie, for being here with us today. I'm really grateful for you agreeing to this interview. Could we start by you introducing yourself and maybe, share a bit about your journey into the tech world as a non-tech founder?
Yeah, so thank you, Natalie, again for having me. This is really fun, and I'm glad you're doing this. My name is Stephanie Kaiser. Like Natalie said, I'm the founder of Saymore, and my journey into the tech world, I grew up around technology. I felt pretty well versed in it. I just think as a young person trying to start their own company, that's a completely different ballgame, especially with my vision for Saymore, which is a community-based platform dedicated to helping people find other people through their lived experiences, as well as creating support and resources for them as well. So I knew the bare bones of what I needed once I decided I really wanted to go full force on finding a technology partner. I quickly, I was talking to friends who had coded in the past, and I was like, how much lift would this take? I really had a naive sense of like I thought I could do it myself, or I thought I could learn on the fly or what have you. But a friend of mine gave me some really good advice early on. She told me, if you can have someone who does it well, like hire them, like anything that you don't necessarily know how to do. And so that was kind of the start of me deciding, okay, I think I need to really outsource this and make sure I find the right partner and someone who hears my vision, but also is a strategic partner as well and brings ideas and pushes back on me when I need pushback. So that kind of led me to JetRockets, and I'm very happy with my choice. Especially for me, my platform is a web-based by scratch technology platform with all my ideas, differentiators, all my vision. And I think I was really nervous. JetRockets gave me a lot of freedom with saying, and honesty from the jump, saying, if you're not happy with us for any reason, at any point we can change directions or you can find a different partner. But I really knew that the basics of this platform was gonna be very important, and I had to get that part right, if anything. So that was the fear I had at the beginning. Finding a tech partner that I knew would build the bones correctly and trust them to go forward and hopefully scale and everything was a huge deal to me. So yeah, I think going into the tech side of the world, I was super nervous and apprehensive, but again, I found JetRockets and I'm very happy about it, my choice. I have no regrets at all, so.
Thank you, Stephanie. That's such a, warms my heart, to hear those. Can you, if you don't mind, could you help our listeners understand, our viewers, I should say, understand the process of what you have gone through? Like, how did you find JetRockets? Were there any other contenders for the job? Like, what did you go through? Because, one of the things I see personally when I speak to our potential clients is that people, they get an idea and just like yourself, they talk to their people, friends and family and whatnot, and they get a whole bunch of different recommendations and ideas and opinions. And oftentimes what I see is happening is that people decide to just hire somebody off of Upwork, maybe.
Right.
And then typically the story goes like this, right? And I'm not saying this happens all the time, but the typical scenario goes like this. You hire a great freelancer on Upwork who does an amazing work for the first 2-3 months, and then they end up getting a full-time gig and your project kind of goes on the back burner. And then 6 months later, you still don't have your project done. You don't know what to do. You kind of have half the project, etc. So why didn't you just go up on Upwork?
Yeah.
How did you come to us?
Oh, wow. Upwork. I think Upwork has a lot, or any, freelancer. I think there's a lot of pros and cons there, especially as a young person wanting to start their own. You're very conscious of cost, right? So I think from the beginning it was, can I take a shortcut or at least start in a place where I can save a lot more money up front? And I considered that for a really long time, especially because I had friends who I was, they were very well versed in, that kind of space development. And so they were recommending me people. But ultimately, like I was saying before, I really wanted, the foundation was essential to my business specifically. So I really did not want to screw around. I sensed that if I started with someone, or maybe a few other people who would get their hands dirty in, the background development, and it changed course, or I had to find other people, I just didn't want to deal with that at all, to be honest. I was no nonsense from the beginning. I had no interest in messing around with a few people, and I was privileged enough to come from a position of I've saved enough money, I believe in this vision, I want to do it the right way once. So that then led me to thinking, okay, I should work with an agency, a team. I really wanted a team. I wanted multiple people involved. I think I told you, a women-owned company. I really wanted to be intentional with where I put my money, especially as a woman in finance. Previously, I was just wanted to support other women. And to be honest, and Natalie, you know all about this, but I was in between narrowed it down to two agencies I wanted to work with. And one was local to me, and I really enjoyed their conversations, and I felt like they were really excited about Saymore, which was important. And then JetRockets had a lot more experience in the space, but obviously the other one was cheaper. So I was just, kind of battling, okay, where should I go? And it's so funny. I love this story. It's very serendipitous because I happened to be in New York, and one of your employees had been like, "Oh, Natalie is also based in New York. Why don't you come and see her?" And it was my last day. We had gotten a coffee. We were planning to meet in the morning, just quickly. And I had a flight, or where I was going to my flight right after. I was running around town after a vacation, and I wasn't thinking anything of it, to be honest. I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna go to this other company. I feel really excited. And then we sat down, and I just remember you talked with me for at least an hour. You greeted me warmly. You had understood the project. You had done your research. You were asking me questions. You calmed my nerves about being like, yes, we have more clients and we're a bigger company, but I believe in this, and we don't just take anyone on. There was just so many parts of that conversation that turned me around completely and built this trust that you cared about me. You were passionate as well for me. And that's kind of, I guess, what I needed to hear too. I was alone. I'm self-funded, just me doing this whole project. So I think I needed to feel like a partnership was really going to happen. And you really made me feel that way. And it just completely flipped my whole mindset. That meeting resonated with me so much. And ever since then, I was like, okay, I think I'm definitely gonna go JetRockets. I think I'm going to stick with this option because you have the experience, and also made sure you knew that I was going to be supported no matter what, and that you all were on board with the vision, which, was also scary because my business is very, there are competitors out there, but my vision I had for it was very different. And so I wanted to make sure there was a team behind me that would also add other differentiators and other ideas, and not just, kiss my butt and just okay, yeah, we'll do whatever you want to do. And you really made me feel like you were listening, and you brought ideas to the table. So that's what turned it around for me. I'm a very relational person, obviously, but I think as a young person who's just starting out and you have a little bit of money, it's very important, how you feel comfortable spending it in the right way, and working with people who also can respect that. I never felt pressed. I still never feel pressed as far as this is what you need to be doing, or where we should be going, or this is how you should spend your money, or anything. It was always very honest and straightforward and transparent. I never felt like I was being sold to, which I think, as someone who was a salesperson in finance, that to me was key. So I had enough experience to say, okay, I trust these people. But yeah, I'll pause there. It was a great experience. And again, very serendipitous. I thought, what are the odds that this meeting, I didn't even plan on taking the meeting, to be honest. And then it just worked out. And now here we are.
I'm so happy you did. Yeah, we absolutely love working with you, and we do believe in your product. And again, this is an opportunity for you to, let's jump in. Let's tell people what Saymore is all about, and who are you? Who should come and check out your website?
Yeah, so Saymore was, the inception of Saymore was ultimately I was looking for a space to hear about other people's specific challenges that I was going through, other solutions that they had found, as well as getting resources, honestly. Saymore has started out mental health conscious first, because that's something I'm very passionate about. And, I struggle with depression, and I think that I was in a really dark time, and I just wanted a safe space to go and hear about other people's stories. I was looking at support groups, I was looking at different spaces, but it never felt right. And I think the internet can be a really intimidating and scary space. So I wanted to create a space, carve out my corner of the internet where people I think the majority of people are good, to be honest. And so I wanted to really emphasize that point and build a brand that was genuine and honest, similar structure to Reddit, but also having, differentiators, and, hearing feedback. I'm a user on, social media and Reddit and everything, and understanding what I want from a platform and making sure I incorporate that into Saymore and support other people. I think we are also building out ways to support other entrepreneurs and other like-minded individuals, women, people of color. That is just, again, my whole vision. I always wanted to say, I'm not trying to be a Zuckerberg or anyone like that. I think that resonates more with people these days, especially young people, being genuine and honest in your mission. So all that to be said, I was really happy to bring this vision to life with JetRockets, just because while it did exist in some ways, I know there were many conversations from the beginning about logistics, and I am a high level woman. So that was a challenge for me, to be honest, is to get into the weeds a little bit and really understand how we're going to execute this, because I think, like you've been mentioning, JetRockets is bringing, non-tech founders to tech founders and bridging that gap. And I consider myself a technology person. So I was just kind of like, oh yeah, like I got this, like we can figure it out together. But you all were so thorough. And I think that's what you all pride yourselves on as well, is just being very much trying to find all the use cases and make sure, if you can cover the most, scenarios that could happen, you will. So I think that was really important for me from the beginning. With my vision is, yes, this exists in a lot of different ways, but I want to do it my way. And you all were very much, okay, if we're going to try to bring this vision to life your way, Stephanie, we need to figure out all these other scenarios that might happen. And it really challenged me to think harder. And you all gave me constant feedback, which was fantastic. And we didn't always agree, right? And that was another thing, is there were some discussions that it was like, well, and that's also why I liked it, because I was like, I don't want to just have a yes man for this project. It's just me out here. So that was really powerful. And ultimately, I think, Saymore is better for it, right? I feel very comfortable. We just talked, I'm in the stage now where I want to pull some of my funds from the tech and move to marketing, now that we have everything, like the differentiators and the basics down with Saymore. But that has also been just a great journey too. I feel really safe and comfortable. And again, especially when it's your own money as a young founder, I think it's like you can get taken advantage of, especially as a woman. Even our first conversation, Natalie, and I'm rambling now, but you had said something to me about, if you need funding at any point, like we understand what it takes to get a woman into that room, and we need to know like how to get taken seriously. And that was so powerful to me, because it's not taboo for me to talk about. I feel very comfortable. I worked in finance, and when you said that, I was like, yes, exactly. We're gonna need another man in that room to like help me pitch my idea and help me tell the people that this is why we need funding and everything and how the tech works. And I wanted that honest partner, to be honest. I wanted someone to say, yeah, this is real. Like, we're not going to sugarcoat it and be like, oh yeah, we'll get you in the rooms. And like, just because you have a good idea, you'll be fine. It's like, there's so much nuance here. And that's also why I believe in Saymore, is Saymore wants to capture that nuance and encourage it, instead of just, pushing it away and trying to all be the same type of person. Everyone has such a different story, a different perspective. So yeah, I'm rambling now, but I just think that about Saymore and JetRockets, it was the perfect marriage for me. It continues to be. And like I said, I think this will be a long partnership. And that's another thing I wanted, a long-term partner that would support me, but also, again, challenge me in the ways that I need to be challenged.
Well, that's how true partnerships work, right? We
Right.
have to challenge one another to push each other forward. Our goal is and has always been, as you know, from the beginning, to make you successful in any way that we can, so that, yes, ultimately, if you're successful, so are we. So it's,
Right.
it's very selfish, but at the same,
Right.
but at the same time, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
So thinking back on this, we've been working together for almost a year now. And I'm so excited for this next chapter in our relationship. Like you mentioned, we're going to put a little pause on development, let you go out there, focus on marketing, get more users on the platform, get some sales going, and then hopefully we can, resume our work and then do the next iteration and so on and so forth. But, thinking back on this 10 months, what are some of the, maybe you've learned some mistakes, or what are some of the mistakes you've made, some of the lessons you've learned, something that you can share with others who are about to embark on this journey?
Yes. So again, I would consider myself a more strategic person, and I get very impatient with attention to detail. And that's, I think, why I'm so glad I hired you all. I think you excel at that. So I wish I had spent more time taking the attention to detail piece seriously. To be honest, I think I just didn't care. I was just like, yeah, whatever. I didn't value it as much as I should have. And nothing against Saymore or the business or JetRockets. It was more of just the way my brain works. And so as much as everything has worked out tenfold the way I wanted to, and it's a beautiful product, I'm very happy with it, very proud of it, I was very frivolous in the beginning with how I approached, some of those logistical conversations that we spoke of, or just the use cases. I was kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense, so let's just do it. I wish I had done a little more like internal, work in my head. So I think, especially in that realm, even if it's uncomfortable, I wish I had spent a little more time just dreaming up, again, all the scenarios so I could be more prepared in the future. I think with anything in technology, JetRockets has told me this from the beginning, things change quickly. So, a use case that we planned for and prepared for in real life could completely change and look different. And we experienced a little bit of that, which was a great learning experience for me. I think to be adaptable in technology is another reason why I love technology. So I wanted a quick change, or I wanted to be able to solve for other scenarios that might come up, and that's still going to come up, right? So I think that piece of it is making sure, one, that I'm like flexible, that I give the due credit to JetRockets on the attention to detail piece, and make sure that I stay on top of that as well. And again, I think when it's your own money and your own baby, it's easy to take anything personal. Initially when I was getting feedback from JetRockets about very minor things, I found myself defensive. Obviously, I said my idea, I don't think my idea was perfect, but I just had an idea of what I thought would make the most sense. And getting feedback now, it's like, oh yeah, give me all the feedback. Now I'm just like a constant feedback. Yes, let's hear it from users, from JetRockets, from other mentors of mine. And that's been a good experience for me, because I'm doing this for the people. Like, my platform specifically is for other people. So for me to kind of close, have blinders on, just doesn't make any sense at all. So that is another lesson. I wish I had known that, yes, criticism should be welcomed in this space, even if it's just me. I think it's not a matter of, malicious intent by any means. I think that everyone just wants to make it better as well. And to work with your team, like my JetRockets team specifically, has been fantastic, because initially, especially with your idea, your baby, you're kind of worried, oh, what are these people going to, say or do with it? Are they going to be able to execute this the way I see it? Am I going to be able to be upfront with them if I don't like something? And this whole time, we have built this cone of trust between all of us, even with changes that have come along the way, even with delays, or even with my ideas changing or what have you. I have not felt skeptical or distrustful of the team that I'm working with at all. And we've built this relationship. And even around the holidays, it feels like friends. It's like, oh, people are taking vacation, so they might be able to, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll talk to you guys after the holiday. It's very comfortable for me. And even when something does go wrong from both sides, I think we handle it in a manner that is respectful, or what have you. I know early on, Natalie, you told me we won't tolerate anyone treating our team disrespectfully. I know, like, this is your vision or what have you, but we've worked with other founders who will take their frustrations out on my team, and you're like, and we just won't have that. And I think I respected that as an employer, and someone coming from, a big corporation, that no matter what, obviously I am your client, but you will not let me become a menace to your team. And I think that's another like testament. I wanted to work with a company that shared my values, right? So that, I think, was also huge. I'm sorry, I'm just remembering all these little stories, but all of this was building trust, right, with you all and your team. And I learned a lot along the way, but I also learned that, like, who you work with and the people that you work with are key, and that no matter what, and good or bad, like, we're going to respect each other. And it's been great so far.
Trust is so important, right? Like, without trust, you can't do anything, right? And so you're absolutely right. It's this trust, the respect, the mutual respect, and kind of just being one team, not so much you being the client and us being the vendor. I mean, it's just us working together on this mutual journey, on this product that we share, right? Like, yes, it's your baby, like you said, but we're growing it together. So
Exactly, exactly. It's mine and yours, honestly.
But super pleasant to work with. So, there's no team loves you. I can say that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, thank you so much. I mean, I heard you said several like key things. I think in there. One is having a very clear vision,
Mm.
right, and how to align those like business goals. And because at the end of the day, yes, you're building a platform to help people, but you also have to be profitable, right? You also have to think from business strategy standpoint. I mean, you can bring a lot of value, but you also have to be able to sustain that product,
Exactly.
right? And hopefully make money off of it. So having a very clear vision of what you're building, why you're building it, and how you're going to monetize it, I think it's super important, right?
Huge.
And then secondarily is, being able to take that feedback and understanding that when people give that to you, it's not because, to your point, they're malicious or they just want to offend you, but it's more likely to because they're viewing it from a different angle. They may have some experiences that you don't have, and
Right.
it's super important to have this plurality of opinions that applies to the development of your platform, because you're going to service people so much better through
Right.
that.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, so that's excellent takeaways. Thank you for sharing that. So again, if if you were kind of to say to anyone following your footsteps, right? Be like going on this journey of launching a tech platform, not knowing much. Yes, you are a very, very technical person indeed, but you've never developed a platform before
Right.
that. So those are the people who we consider non-tech
Yeah.
founders. Where should they begin? Like the first step before even thinking about partner, right? Like development partner. What's the first step? Like, what do I do? Do I just have an idea and go for it? Or like, what do I do?
Right. I mean, just start. I mean, what I started out with was just a Word doc, and I was just typing everything from the brand personality I wanted to capture to, functionality and how I wanted it to operate to just the overall type of businesswoman I wanted to be. I think I was just putting pen to paper. I think that's huge, especially as a woman, and I'm very, very passionate about this. We don't get off the ground. I mean, we're our worst critics. We're our harshest people. So I think to even just get it onto pen to paper, you don't even have to tell anyone. You can just start workshopping it in your own head, but just start. I think about it all the time, how many women have so many probably powerful, amazing ideas and either don't have the funding or the confidence to just even start talking about it or wanting to pursue it. How like much better the world would be if if they had their own companies, if everyone had the opportunity, truly. And yeah, I just wish, and I would love, and I want to empower other people, other women and minorities to just, they are also the heart of this world that we live in. And I'm just passionate about people, but I just think I was so motivated to just start. No one could say anything to me. I had this almost angst. I was like, no, like I will prove people wrong, or I will make this happen. And I think once you get into that mind frame and just start workshopping it in your own head, and yeah, talking to people that you trust, absolutely, that is key. And don't stop. Like I just think, if especially because I feel like my idea didn't exist in the way that I wanted it to, that doesn't mean it's a bad idea. If anything, that could mean it could change everything. So I think having that mindset of, whatever it works for you, whether that's you believe in a higher power, you're manifesting or what have you, but just knowing and trusting that you're here for a reason and that this is calling you for a reason. I just would love to see more people and more women and minorities specifically to be able to like launch their ideas and have build up that confidence and meet other people. I mean, Natalie, you were huge on connecting me to other people as well along this whole journey. That's been very, very powerful for me. And that I think people would be surprised how many people want to help you without strings attached. And I think I've learned that throughout even just this year, talking to people and growing the vision of my business and everything like that, how many people are rooting for you that you don't even know. And that should hopefully pull people along. And I'm rooting for all these people too, right? But it's just very cool to see older generations than me. Even I mentioned criticism, but no, a lot more support, a lot more encouragement. And here's what else we can do to help you and things like that. So yeah, especially as a young woman trying to make your idea come to life, just just start, just get out there. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like we talk about all the time, perfection kills success, right? And I'm lucky. I'm a little impulsive. So to me, I'm like, I'm just going to get going, let's just get started and we'll figure out the rest. I remember telling you guys before I signed with you, I said, I just want MVP by end of summer. I just want to get it out there so I can start seeing what else we need, what people need from the platform. And that was my main goal. And I think, especially from a technology standpoint, that's great because it can change and it can change easily. It's not a retail shop, and that's the beauty of it. So take advantage. It's powerful. So yeah, just get started. Please go.
I love this. Just get started, right?
Yeah.
Just go for it. I love it. And I think, you just nail it right on the head when you said there's so many people that are willing to help. And I think people are often afraid to ask.
Exactly.
Right? It's like, but it's not going to kill you. The worst you're going to hear is no. What right? So you just ask for help. Just like ask people. For once, I always say, if you are a non-tech founder and you're thinking about launching, reach out to me. I'll talk to you. I'd be happy to talk to you and give you an advice. And so if people wanted to reach out to you, Stephanie, maybe ask you a question or maybe find out more about Saymore, where can they do that?
Yes, so you can find me and Saymore on LinkedIn. So Saymore Co-CEO, and then I'm Stephanie Kaiser. I'm on all social media platforms. So is Saymore under Saymore CO on Instagram, TikTok, and everywhere like that. So that's where you can find me. Again, I highly, like you said, just like people want to help. I would love to talk to you as well. It's just, I know it's hard. Also, I would like to say, like, I felt like I didn't have anything to offer people when I was talking to them. I just was, so nervous. I was like, this is so uncomfortable. Again, especially as a woman, I feel like. But once you, like, if you don't go into the expectation, like, you don't need anything, right? Like, you don't need to have like an end goal to every meeting. Sometimes it really is just meeting someone that aligns with you values-wise, and that they can hopefully connect you to someone that could help. It's no skin off my back. Even us having this conversation, I'm like, this is what we're here for between you and I. Like, you're on my board. You know what I mean? Like, I trust you, like, in your vision and whatever you need, and vice versa. I feel really comfortable in that space, and it just takes those reach outs. So I know it's hard to do, but it sounds like for both of us, we do not mind at all. And if anything, we're just stronger together for it. So let's.
And what you just said, not every conversation has to be transactional, as a matter of fact.
Right.
Get out of that mindset of like, what do I get out of it? You get out of it knowing one more cool person.
Exactly.
It's awesome. So, and that transaction, it will follow if it should happen, right? Otherwise, just like spend more time talking to people, get to know people, share your ideas, hear their ideas, offer advice. I think this can lead us to a lot more success and, yeah, thank you so much, Stephanie. This has been awesome. I really appreciate all of your kind words you said about JetRockets, your experience. It's been such a pleasure helping you, working with you, helping Saymore become what it is. And I really am looking forward to, many, many more exciting news about Saymore and JetRockets as well. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. And yeah, this has been excellent. So thanks again for having me.